Charter Communication announced millions of dollars in investments that will provide broadband services to unserved areas in Somerset and Oxford counties.
They say it will help reach the governor's goal to ensure all Mainers have access to reliable internet services. Kadichi Lawrence has more.
Charter Communications announced a $70 million investment to the already existing network
to enable us to provide gigabit symmetrical speeds on the upstream and downstream.
The investments will cover more than 700,000 homes and businesses across the company's service area in the state.
These enhancements are really about the future, right? As we continue to build our network and technology, it will enable our customers to do more and more, which is exciting for them.
Falk says this private investment will help towards Governor Mills' goal.
The governor has created an ambitious plan to try to get everybody connected in Maine by the end of 2024. We've been doing our part, working hard, both by making these private investments and by working with the Maine Connectivity Authority.
Charter also announced an additional $12 million in funding that will provide broadband services to over 3,500 unserved homes and businesses in the rural areas of the state.
This $12 million investment in these counties, in Somerset County and Oxford County, is going to mean broadband for the first time, right? It's going to mean that they're going to be able to do schoolwork from home, that they'll be able to take virtual medical appointments.
Falk says they understand affordability is an issue that prevents many from connecting. He says Spectrum has been a day one participant in the FCC and the Affordable Connectivity Program, which makes internet available at little to no cost to eligible families in financial need.
And so we're working hard with the state, with the federal government, to make broadband more affordable and to get those kinds of discounts available to people so that they can actually access our services.
Kadichi Lawrence, WABI TV 5 News, Augusta.